Hey guys, how's it going? Today, for my subscribers, this is a little bit different. I'm going to be doing a TED Talk. It's a video. But, it's something just a little bit different. Anyways, today, this is my TED Talk. We're talking about the Army and why to consider joining it. First off, hello, welcome to my talk, alright? Today, I'm going to explain why considering the Army could be a good choice. They have plenty of options, first off. The first important part is really the career path you want to go with. They have over 150 different career paths, from infantry to artillery, construction to mechanics, equipment operators to equipment maintenance. The Army virtually has everything that you need to, all the different jobs that you want to join. They also have active duty and reserves. Active duty is like your full-time job, like 5 days a week, and it's like 9 to 5. Sometimes you get more hours, sometimes you don't. It depends on the day and what the workload is like that day. Reserves, they're a different side. They're like part-time, but with a twist. See, the reserves, you go for 1 weekend a month for 1 weekend a month, and then during the summertime, you go separately, 2 weeks separately, during the summertime to get you caught up with the Army's tactics and the ways that they teach and everything else. Next off, the Army also has free college. So if you want to become a mechanic or an engineer or whatever, they have that covered. For active duty, you get that one job, that one pick for whenever you first join, and then after 2 years of service, you can pick a different job. You can go, well, not really pick a different job, but you can really, if you want to, you can go and get college. If you're there for 2 years with the Army, you get free college and all that, so you can really, research on what, you can, get a different job, career, if you want to come back to the States and all that. Also, they also have medical insurance options. Reserves have 3. I believe the active duty has more, but that allows for, if you get injured on the job, or, you have to get, a tooth pulled or something, whatever it may be, you have those medical insurance that will help pay for those doctor visits or dentist or whatever. But in more depth for career options, the construction, they have different construction. The position I'm wanting to join is a horizontal construction engineer. Basically, it's where you drive big machines like bulldozers, backhoes, tractors, cranes, all that to, level out the ground or whatever you need to do to build bases or whatever the Army wants you to build. Mechanics. They have 6 different types of mechanics, but I'm just going to, point out a few. You've got the tracked mechanics, which they work on vehicles that are tracked, and each one has their own little, bay area where they work on the vehicles. And if one mechanic, one set of mechanics gets done before the others and they have nothing else, they go off and they help the other mechanics. Like, say you're a track mechanic, right? And you get done with your workload for the day. And there are still all-wheeled mechanics that are still working. You can go over there and help them until your day is done. Or until they get done. Or you get another vehicle in. And you also have non-tracked mechanics. They work on pretty much everything that doesn't have tracks. Next up we have infantry. For infantry, you have the regular infantry, which is your soldiers that are on the front line. You've got your infantrymen, which I haven't really done a whole lot of research on that portion, but I believe that it's like your men that are standing back, and they have more advanced weaponry to see farther and be able to take on the enemy, at a farther distance than regular infantry. We also have artillery, which is amazing. You have, whenever it comes to artillery, that's what could change the tide of the battle if you're in a battle instantly. Artillery is way back behind the line, the front line. It's way back there, and they shoot the long range weapons to help out their country or whatever it may be, to turn the tide of the battle just like that, really quick. Next up is medical. Medical is, you have your nurses, you have your combat medics, you have your doctors, everything in the army, and those will help wounded soldiers. The nurses and doctors, they will help wounded soldiers to get them to where they can get back up and walk, and if they're still wanting to still fight if they aren't medically discharged. And also in America, there are, over in Colombia, my stepdad actually is working as, ex-stepdad. He's really close to me because me and him, some stuff happened, and yeah. Anyways, he is a veteran. He works at the VNA hospital or whatever it is. It's a Veterans Affairs hospital, and he gets to retire after in like 13 years or something like that, because he's working as a nurse, and that is also working for the army, which is also part of the government. But the combat medics, they're the medics that go into the heat of battle, and they're the ones that help soldiers to get back to a way to get them back to, the bases, to get them healed up and whatnot. Pay and benefits, full-time. The average yearly pay, which is like all the different, jobs, and, like all the different ranks and everything. The average yearly pay, which this is not the lowest, this is just right in the middle, $42,609. That may not sound like a lot, but at a monthly rate, this is $3,550.75. Right? The cents isn't really necessary, but I want to make sure everybody knows exactly how much you're getting, roughly. That's actually quite a bit. That's more than some of us are making. Like me, I'm only making roughly about $900 a month, if I'm lucky. Next, free college after 2 years of service. So you get, if you work for the Army for 2 years of service, as I said earlier, you get free college for whatever, you can go in for 10 different jobs, you can get training for 10 different things. As long as you've been in the Army for 10 years, they will pay for that. I've already stated that, well, I don't think I've stated this, but I've stated about my, my stepdad, ex-stepdad, whatever. Retirement after 20 years. So if you're in the Army for 20 years straight, consecutive, year after year, you're working for the Army, day after day, week after week, all that, 20 years, and you can have retirement. Now, depending on what position you were in before you left, after your 20 years of service, will depend on what your retirement pay is. Special cash allowances and bonuses. This is for if you have, if you're for your living and stuff like that, and sometimes even your family's living. It helps you pay. They will help you for your whatever you want. If you need to pay for a house back in the States and you're off on deployment, they will help you pay for that with special cash allowances, and bonuses. Bonuses or whenever they give you bonuses depend, if you've worked hard and everything and you've showed that you are worthy, they will give you special, a bonus. Sometimes at work, if you get a bonus, that's basically what it is. Medical, you get to pick over a variety of different medical options. It doesn't pay for it all, but it pays for most of it, which really helps some people out. Another thing, you get to travel across the world. So if you're on deployment, you get to travel. You deploy and then you get to see different parts of the world that most people wouldn't be able to see. I mean, that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. That'd be pretty nice. Okay, so if you're deployed, you can literally have, if you're deployed in the States or one of the, territories of the United States, owned by the United States of America, you can take your vehicle with you after basic training. If you're deployed after basic training and everything, and you're deployed to Jamaica or Hawaii or something like that, you can literally have your vehicle taken and shipped free with you. For the reserves, their benefits, I guess you'd say, in a way, and what they get to choose from, they have free college. So since reserves really don't have, their reserves don't really have a, they don't have every day, 5 days a week, so they get to have free college, and, they can figure out what job they want to do, and maybe later on, if they have enough experience and enough college credits, they can go into active duty, and do what they want to, As I said, they are part-time, they're like your part-time workers, once, 1 weekend a month, 2 weekends, 2 weeks in the summertime, basic. They have 3 different medical insurance options, which really does help them out, because, really, they do quite a bit, and they still do need health insurance, just like everybody else. Now this is kind of the part that sets you down, but this is actually quite a bit for just doing that little amount of work a year. They make $5,347.44 a year. That is $445.62 a month. That's quite a bit for just that 1 weekend a month kind of, part-time worker kind of thing. They're able to stay in the United States unless they're deployed, active duty deployment. And they have lots of jobs. They can pick between over 120 jobs just for the reserves, I believe, and then if they go for active duty, they can get even more, but, that's up to them. Active duty, more of kind of what they get, like, whenever you're in town and, you have, like, your uniform on, if you're still on active duty, or, you're on leave or whatever, and you're wearing your uniform, you get local recognition. Or if, like, you retired and you go to, like, a veterans, hold on, and you go to, like, a veterans assembly at one of the schools, they will locally recognize, you'll be recognized in public if you want to, so yeah. And also in town, if, like, you're at somewhere and you have your uniform on, there's some people, such as me, I'm one of those people that will thank the veterans and everybody for their service, because they really do keep us safe. You also get hand-to-hand combat training, so if, like, if you run out of bullets, and, you don't really have an extra weapon or sidearm or anything on you, and, someone comes at you, like if you're in the middle of a battle, you'll have that hand-to-hand combat training that you learn during basic training to help you, defeat the attacker or keep yourself safe. In the United States, if, you're walking the streets and somebody just comes up to you and starts swinging, you have the hand-to-hand combat training to neutralize them to where a local official can take care of it from there. You also get M16 training, which is, that's a weapon, an M16. You learn how to take it apart and put it back together and everything else, and you also learn how to properly maintain and take care of that firearm as well. Easier to obtain weapons. Well, what I mean is, it's easier since if you were in the army, you would have more qualifications, and you know how to take care of firearms and not to use them for violence. And you still have to do the background check, but the Army, whenever you join the Army, you have a background check right then and there. So that allows you, if you haven't done anything right after the Army, you have an easier route to obtain weapons than if you were just some random person coming off the streets. And you can also obtain a automatic firearm a lot easier than you could, as I said, a regular civilian just off the streets coming in and buying, trying to get one. Discounts on most air travels. So whenever you're, if you want to, travel somewhere and you have to go through, and it requires air, then you get that discount, and even sometimes your families get, like, a discount for, those air travels. Conclusion. Now, the Army is not for everybody. You may want to pursue something that's outside of the Army, where you can stay in the United States all the time. Understandable. I can understand that too, this is one of my lifelong, dreams I've wanted to do. But it's been just a couple recent years that I've looked into different, positions that the Army had. I didn't know till, about a year ago that they really had all these different careers that were, underneath the Army. I didn't know that. I thought it was just infantry or, artillery or something like that. I didn't know there were different career options. Now the Army will take most people, but the deal with that is, you have to have a clear background, like no criminal records or anything, no warrants, no felonies, misdemeanors, anything like that, and you have to have a good mental quality and a good physical quality. Physical, like, no, like, defects with your throat, like your lung collapse or a heart murmur or something like that. So that's that part. And if you're interested, contact a recruiter, that's what's gonna really, if you want to take that initiative, like I kind of have, contact your closest recruiter. In schools, you can talk to certain teachers, and they can talk to your local Army recruiter or Marines, Navy, Air Force, National Guard, all that. They can get them for you. And they could, since they have all that contact. Anyways, guys, I really do thank you for sticking here and watching my video. I'll see y'all later.